folks, checking the traffic docket, surely some mistake here. I'm looking at a certain Chrystia Freeland who proclaims that she gets around by either walking or cycling or taking public transit. So what was the Deputy Prime Minister doing in Alberta the other day, cruising down the highway in a fossil fuel vehicle, doing 142 kilometers in a 100 zone? Yes, what indeed.
I'm wondering what your reaction is to the leak about your speeding ticket, and do you have concerns about the fact that that was leaked publicly?
So look, I did get a speeding ticket driving between Grand Prairie and Peace River. I was driving too fast, and I won't do it again.
And who better to address this than our friend Lorne Gunter, who just wrote a column entitled "Cruisin' Chrystia, Just Another Example of Liberal Green Hypocrisy." Well, Lorne, thank you so much for joining me here on the Ezra Levant Show. How you doing?
I'm doing well, and you?
I'm doing great. Well, Lorne, does it surprise you? Does it surprise anyone that what the Liberals say and what they do are two alien things? They're all about the green agenda, fighting climate change, reducing the carbon footprint. And forget about Chrystia Freeland. Lorne, I've gone to so many pressers where Prime Minister Trudeau shows up, typically 8 vehicles, typically Chevy Suburbans and Ford Expeditions, fossil fuel, 8-cylinder vehicles. And whether it's summer for the air conditioning or winter for the heat, they keep those vehicles idling. You would think if they're, professing this green agenda, they would at least get their butts behind, an EV or at least a plug-in hybrid. But no, one law for thee and one law for me. What do you say, my friend?
I know that's absolutely what's happening. And, that was confirmed in another way on the EV side. About 6 months ago, Blacklock's reporter had gone through had done a bunch of access to information, gone through all of the usage logs at the EV plugins at Environment Canada buildings across the country. And most places were going 3 to 6 months without a single electric vehicle plugged in to recharge at Environment Canada buildings. So it's all for show. That's the problem with this government. It's woke, but it's all about virtue signaling. They don't care really about doing anything substantial. It's all about how do we look? How do we feel about ourselves in these important issues? And how do others feel about, how do our voters feel about us? We don't care whether we're crashing the economy. We don't care whether we're actually reducing emissions, and we're not really. Mm-hmm. We just care that we are sending the right signals out to people so that they know we're concerned. We care. And that's all there is. This is with Freeland is the same thing. So, here she is. I suggested today in my column that what's missing here with Freeland is not that, she was increasing her carbon footprint by driving fast. The faster you drive, the higher your carbon footprint, the bigger it is. That's not it. And I know she had boasted a lot in PEI about a month ago about how I only live 300 meters from a subway in Toronto. My father is so surprised I don't own a vehicle. What I wanted one of those reporters in PEI to ask her was, you don't own a vehicle, but is your husband?
Question for the Deputy Minister. What do you say to Prince Edward Islanders who woke up to a significant increase in gas, diesel, and oil this morning between 6 and 8 cents per liter?
Okay. Well, I have been talking about that with Heath and Sean. Heath and Sean and I had breakfast together before that.
One of the key industries here on Prince Edward Island in particular is our tourist industry, and particular to that, our car tourist industry. People traveling from our region to this island to be tourists with policies like the carbon tax and the clean fuel standards, which are by design meant to reduce consumption of fuel and reduce. Are you worried that's going to have a chilling effect on one of the key industries here on Prince Edward Island?
So yeah, I'm very aware of that, and actually with a couple of my colleagues, we drove here last night from Halifax.
We very much believe in PEI. We believe in the tourism industry, and we believe in the PEI economy overall. Today's announcement was about all of that. You guys are nice.
I did want to say one more thing, though. I don't need you to retread the ground you've gone over, because you've answered this question from the other side. But you are facing a lot of pushback in this region, in particular from local politicians, local provincial governments that say this, they're not opposed to it, but it's coming too soon, too fast. They need more time to adapt. What do you say to that?
You know what? I say I do really understand. I really understand the challenges. A fact that still shocks my dad is I don't actually own a car because I live in downtown Toronto. I'm like, I don't know, 300 meters from the nearest subway. I walk, I take the subway, I make my kids walk and ride their bikes and take the subway. It's actually healthier for our family. I can live that way. I can live that way.
And do you drive that? You know, because it used to be common for families to have one vehicle. It was the family car. Do the Freelands have a family car? I bet you they do. And I bet you that she says that she walks 300 meters to the subway. But we know also that she uses a government executive car and a driver an awful lot. So you and I don't have that luxury. If we wanted to give up our vehicles, we would really have to change our lifestyles. She gives up her vehicle, and there really isn't a change. She's just allowed to boast that she doesn't have a vehicle. So yeah, it's exactly hypocrisy. But she put me in mind of a couple of Western provincial cabinet ministers of the past. A guy in BC in the 50s who was named Flying Phil Gillardy. He was the first highways minister in BC, and he used to get stopped all the time by the Mounties or by local police forces for speeding. And he would always tell them, oh, you know what? I'm the highways minister. We've been paving a lot of roads here. I'm just out checking to see how the pavement is, if it's any good. But he got his nickname because he also had a private pilot's license. And one time a Mountie stopped him and he showed the Mountie his pilot's license. And the Mountie was a little puzzled apparently, but he said, look, I'm not driving too fast. I'm just flying too low. And so he became known as Flying Phil Gillardy. And in Alberta, we had a cabinet minister in the 80s, back in the Getty government, who was a doctor in Hinton. And he would rush into Edmonton for sessions all the time. And he got stopped so many times, he got known as Speedy Reed. So I think we have to call her Chrystia Freeland Cruising Chrystia, or Fast and Furious Freeland, or something like that. She has to have a nickname that goes with this driving record.
Oh, I like the alliteration there with Fast and Furious Freeland. That's a good one, Lorne.